today we're out for our daily walk, which happens at least once a fortnight, and we've decided to come down to St Mary's Island, one of the highlights of the Medway area. On our way down here we're having to pass the Chatham Marina, which is where all the posh rich people keep their boats. You wouldn't really think that there'd be a lot of posh rich people in Medway, but there seems to be enough to keep some boats down here anyway. We're just about to cross the bridge over the lock, and the lock is here because the marina is on the Medway River, which is tidal, and if they didn't have a lock, when they came to get in their boats they'd find they were all down to the mud, and that would ruin their whole day. And while we're out, you can see there's quite a lot of other people out and about.
Millions. I've never seen so many people for months.
The lockdown isn't officially over, but most people have just given up on it and abandoned it altogether. I actually quite liked it. It was really nice. I felt like I was out there doing some valuable work and helping people, and people were thanking me when I was doing deliveries and so on, but we're back to normal now, and people shout abuse at me, park on double yellow lines so I can't make deliveries, and everything really has just gone back to normal. So I find that a bit sad, really. It's amazing how quickly people just want to get back into the rat race. Over on the other side of the river from the St Mary's Island, you can see Upnor Castle. It's been there since, well, I don't know when really, but it was key fort when the Dutch came to take over, to invade Chatham.
Might have been better if they had. We'd be all sitting in brown cafes and smoking spliffs.
St Mary's Island has been used for many things over the years. There used to be prison hulks in the Medway during the Napoleonic Wars, and of course conditions were fairly poor. A lot of those prisoners died, and they were buried on St Mary's Island. Later on they decided to use the land to build a prison, so they had to exhume all of these people that they'd buried there, move them to a graveyard somewhere else, and then they built a prison. And then a bit later on it was used as an expansion to the dockyard, and one of the uses was to dump nuclear waste from filling up the nuclear submarines. These days the island is a housing estate. They claim they removed 1.3 million tonnes of contaminated soil, and despite that they still tell you that you shouldn't eat anything if you grow it in your garden on the island. Of course they had no problem selling these houses because people just love to live near the water, and if you've got a house with a view of the river, it's always going to be worth a lot of money. As usual, when they redevelop a bit of dockland, they litter it with bits of old tat. As George Clark would say, it gives a nod to its industrial past. Hundreds and hundreds of people out today. People are out boating, walking, jogging, all kinds of things. And the weather isn't even that nice today.
Time the lazy bastards went back to work.
People say there's nothing to do in Medway, but look at this. You can come out for a lovely walk alongside of the river. Of course you're going to get wet, but what can you do? Anyway, the rain's coming down now, as usual, because well, it's summer in Britain. So we're hot-footing it back to the car.